Hey guys, it's been a while since the last video of directory listing builder, but there's a reason for that. The main reason is that I hit a wall and I needed to implement these SaasRock portals, which you can read on this article, Build B2B SaaS Apps with Portals, or you can watch the video, the demo or the introduction video of portals. Basically, you have two projects now. The management of the project, which runs on port 3000, and the portal itself. In this case, it's a directory. And take a look at all the time that I spent on this project. Like the last video that I did on this project was on March 3rd. And for example, this week I spent like 10 hours, and then 2 weeks ago, like another 10 or 20 hours, in total as 60 hours. So imagine if I recorded myself every hour. I mean, it's possible, but not with my current equipment, because my Mac runs out of memory quickly. And of course, the SaasRock directory portal project, 6 hours or so, which is the actual front end of the directory. And of course, I haven't updated the logo. I actually created this with GPT, and I actually liked it, even though it's not great. I liked it because of the D and the C, as in the craft. So yeah, let me show you the new features that I implemented. Well, I'm gonna create a SaaS directory. I mean, a SaasKits directory, because there are many SaasKits directories out there, and I want to put SaasRock at the top. I mean, there's this one, like for example, SaaS boilerplates, where SaasRock is somewhere at the bottom, and of course, I want my own boilerplate to be at the top. So the first directory that I'm going to create is SaasKits one. So I changed mainly these three sidebar items: listings, categories, and pages. Let's go one by one. The first is listings. So without custom properties, I'm gonna create a listing and call it SaasRock. In this log, I'm gonna fix it by SaasRock, and no description, because I'm not actually using this in any place. Status published, no logo, no image, no category, because I haven't created any category. So it's not created. But if I create custom properties, for example, for this directory, maybe a global framework, and then this could be of type multi-select, no, select. And the first one is remix, and then next.js. Let's fix the slug, because the slug will be the value. This will appear in the URL. So we will like next.js, like that. And then let's put Vue or Next. But I think Vue itself is a framework, Vue in lowercase. And then let's put spell kit, and maybe with a dash, I'm not sure. And this will be required. So going back, if I create another listing, like this time Netcore SaaS, let's fix the slug. I will put it, I didn't actually create one for that. Let's edit this custom property and add .NET. Put it as .NET Core. .NET Core. Yeah, like that. Save it, going back, create a new one, call it Netcore SaaS. And this will be of type Netcore. And actually, there seems to be no space between the category and the custom properties. So let me fix that by going into the listings new route and search for JSON property values input. And actually, this should use this listing utils function to get properties. mixing the portal listing properties and the category specific properties. And yeah, instead of having this inside a div, I'm gonna remove the div because the parent div already has the spacing. So let's see if it works. I think it's compiling, or my Mac froze. Yeah. Now again, Netcore SaaS framework Netcore. Save it. Okay. So we don't have a framework for SaasRock. Let's go and edit it. And there are no categories, and the framework is Remix. Update it. Now let's create category specific properties. And what could be the categories for this directory? I think it could be something like React. I mean, how should I say it? I mean, there are two options. I could put like language here and then create a custom property on this category called, I mean, options like for React, Vue, or I could put React like here, and React will be the category itself. And I think I prefer that. So the categories on this SaaS, I mean, on this directory will be the languages. So let's save React, and maybe custom properties for React, something React specific that other framework or other languages don't have. For example, maybe UI library, and then UI library. And this could be a multi-select because we could have Tailwind CSS and ShadCN. And it could include both of them, ShadCN UI. And for example, Bootstrap, is it called like that? Yeah. And other UI libraries for React. And this will be required. And let's create another category for Netcore. Well, but like this, net or .NET. I mean, C#. We're talking about languages. C#. And for C#, we could have, I'm not sure what's C# specific. I'm gonna actually ask GPT, give me something C# specific that React doesn't have. Purposes, maybe full stack, native for multi-threading. Yeah, this is not what I meant. Maybe I could ask for a SaasKit directory, give me categories like React.js, C#, and for each category, custom properties. String, Boolean, select, multi-select, and let's see what it gets. In the meantime, let's update our listing, this one, and select a category of React. And as you can see, it's rendering this category specific properties. So I can select Tailwind CSS and ShadCN. If I save it and I refresh the page, we should have the category, the UI libraries that I selected, and the framework. All of these are, I mean, these two properties are dynamic attributes from, in this case, it's category property attributes, and these listing or global listing property attributes. So let's see what ChatGPT gave us. For C#, we have net version. Yeah, I guess each language should have its own version. Project type, console app, web API. Yeah, I like this one. Console app and web API for C#. So let's go to categories and put here custom properties. Project type, is it project type? Yeah, and it's multi-select project type, and the first one is console app. I mean, I could have the value as it gives it, like this, or lowercase it like this, web API. But anyway, so now for the other listing, which is network SaaS, I'm gonna put that category C#, and then the project type will be web API, which is not actually web API. It's well, it is web API, but with MVC. So we could select multiple. But anyway, let's save this. And yeah, you can see how we're working with custom properties, custom global properties, and then category specific properties. Now, I don't have anything built for the front end for the listing. Like if I click here, it will redirect me to that listing. But before doing that, I'm going to explain that if I try to access a not found directory, like this invalid directory not found. But if I go to my SaasKits project, I now have these two listings, and we have this project working. This is the home page, and I wanted to explain what are the new pages, or what are the directory pages that I'm going to support. I have this on my notes. So we have the home page, and then we have categories, React and C#. And actually this is in Spanish. Let me change it to English. And then we have the category specific. If I click here, well, this is wrong because it should redirect to category slash and the category. And as you can see, to do, implement category theme 1. And this is the topic that I'm going to cover in this video. Themes for each one of these pages. I show you home, categories, category, and then explore should be something similar to the home page, but without any specific things that could have the home page, like a hero section, feature slots. Well, I guess feature slots should be in every page. I'm not sure. And then the listing page, like it will be something like, well, there could be, I mean, it could be something like listing and then the slug of the listing. In this case, as you can see, I'm using just the slug of the project, but I don't know if this will encounter issues. I guess, for example, there's this privacy policy page, existing privacy policy page, but what if I have an actual listing called like that, privacy policy? Let's give it anything. Item on the list. Slug is invalid. Okay, so I already covered it. I guess it's covered in this listing utils invalid slug. As you can see, there are many invalid slugs like new, login, logout, register, pricing, settings, privacy policy, terms and conditions, resets, submit, subscribe, contact. Maybe I should have another for explore. And what else? Categories and newsletter. And if we ever want to implement like a contact page and a blog page, this is invalid as well. So how do we actually implement the themes? Because one of the main features, let me put this first. Well, we already covered the dynamic properties, so I'm going to check this. Now, let's talk about themes. If you watch my other video on portals, you saw that we have these terms and condition, privacy policy, and pricing pages, and you can only edit the title, description, and content. But I've updated the database to have Let me show you the Prisma. And by the way, all of these changes, well, not the non-directory specific changes will go to the core of SaasRock. So I'm just gonna explain what I changed. As you can see on the where's the page? Portal page. Here I removed title, description, and content and put it as attributes. And where are those attributes? On app configuration, we have the portals configuration, but I moved the object into another file beside the app configuration called app portal configuration. And here we have the same interface, like enabled for tenants, pricing, analytics, the domains configuration. And here on the metadata, well, we are not actually using anything specific for portals in the directory, as in custom properties, but I added these pages, and these pages, where are they? As you can see, there's home, categories, category, pricing, privacy policy, and terms and conditions. Why did I do this? Because we need to know like a bridge between the management site, which is this one, and the portal site. So, for example, on terms and conditions, we should have this page configuration where I said some custom properties like a title property, which is defined here because this will be used on multiple pages, a description property, and an HTML property. So I have this function that checks whether it's ready. So if the HTML is not set, this page is not ready, the terms and conditions. But I can actually put something, and let's call it terms 1, and without the description. So it's updated. I can preview. Terms and conditions is not found. There should, let me, not found. It's something is happening, so let's fix it. Let's go to terms and conditions. And here is returning not found. Okay, so this is a bug. It's not called the attributes content. This is the bad part about using custom properties. Let's see, we're using that in privacy policy and terms and conditions. But if you see, we don't have actually a content property. We call it HTML, and this is called HTML. So we should access content like this, HTML. And this, I will change it to HTML. And let's see where it's used this content. Yeah, and do the same thing for privacy policy. So content, page HTML. Okay, let me remove this unused import. And HTML, we need to rename this as well, and that's it. So refreshing. On terms and conditions, we have these terms and this something, but if we delete the page, it's not available anymore. And actually, it's not available on the footer. And if you enable it, like something, and refresh, we have these terms and conditions. So I changed the way so that I can have this customization for the new pages, like home. As you can see, we have a custom property called theme, title, description, image, and then SEO. For the SEO, I created groups. Let me show you on the, actually that was the reason I moved the portal configuration into another file, because I needed to add this grouping mechanism. So I created these 3 properties called SEO title, SEO description, SEO image, and then put the same group. And I updated the JSON input, values input, to group it by those group and render it in this way. So all the ungrouped properties will go first, and then the group properties. Well, I guess, yeah, like this. Well, I was gonna say that maybe if I put the SEO properties at the top, maybe it shows them first. Let's see. Yeah, so it's in other order of customization here. So we should create this for each page. Actually, on the categories, we should have the SEO properties as well. And where else? On the category itself? Well, no, on the category, that depends on the category. So we don't need SEO properties there. And for the pricing, well, I guess you could have SEO. I guess the more customization on SEO you give to the user, the more happy they will be. And then privacy policy, yeah, let's not contradict myself and put the SEO properties on every page that is not an item, like a listing, because the SEO of a listing will be on the listing itself, not on a custom property. So I didn't find a way to implement like a best solution for this, but let me show you. Because I want a directory listing builder to be fully customizable, I have these themes. And where is the theme? We have this theme property that is only applied I mean, it will be applied on every page that supports custom themes. Like categories should support a theme, and all the other ones, theme property, category as well, because we could have multiple layouts, and we should have this for every one of these. We already put it for home, categories, category, and then let's put it on explore, explore. And this does not require a parameter. And then, by the way, this way of managing params is not actually like a React router thing. It's just that I can have this button that redirects me to the end page. But if, for example, here it's a category, it redirects me to that. And then on the portal itself, let me show you category API. If it's category, I take the first category and redirect that. But this is only for development purposes. I mean, this shouldn't be on production. But anyway, going back, we need another page for the listing. And yeah, listing. And actually this is, the parameter is right here. And well, but this will think that is listing. Yeah, it's okay like that. And we should have we don't have a title or description on the listing page because we have those things on the listing itself. Now let's create another one for submit. Maybe submit. By the way, these translations, like you can see, I don't have a translation for submit. Is right here, like on pages, on the portal. We have these pages that you could implement for multiple languages. We should have submit, newsletter, and blog. Newsletter and blog, and maybe contact. This could be something in the future. And let's add this on the Spanish translations. Explore. Let's search for explore and then implement this in Spanish. Submit. It's not actually send. It's submit listing. Let's see what translation enviar. No. Solicitar, listar, submit, listar, like list. Newsletter, bulletin. No, it's newsletter. Blog post. We don't want blog post. Did I put blog post? Oh, we already have a blog translation. Newsletter and contacto. Okay, so going back to the configuration, there's a page for submit, or there should be. We don't have actually a submit. Oh, we do, but it doesn't work. So what else? Contact, blog, newsletter. This will be in the future. And actually, for author listings, like imagine you have your own users, like myself on SaasKits. I should have like here my username with maybe an symbol at the beginning, and then my username, and then and this username will list like every listing that I have listed. And then if I put, I don't need to put anything here, because if I put SaasRock, it doesn't make sense because SaasRock is already listed here. But this is like for the future. I'm not going to support these pages yet. Now, I checked this, but let's actually build the themes, because let's take a look at categories. And let's see. Well, let me save this page, this configuration, I mean. We should have all these pages now that we can change. And maybe we should have like, what theme are they using? I don't know. Let's go. I just want to put the values. So just for debugging. So where I'm rendering the pages, I already had these attributes. No, but it's page attributes, and then I'm gonna join that. Join. Well, the attributes, it's not actually an array, it's an object, so I'm just gonna put it like this, stringify, and then put the page attributes, just so I know which of these are customized. Like here we have the HTML, and here we don't have anything. So for home, let's change the title, like the world's best SaaS starter kits directory. And then a description to do. And let's save it. And let's go to the home page. So on the default theme, which is the theme 1, we don't have the title render anywhere. But you can change like the default theme. Let me see if I change to the theme, because I have this hack locally where you can access custom themes. But well, I guess before going through this, I should show you the code, how I'm thinking to implement this. Like, take a look at this. The theme 2 actually renders the hero section. So let me show you how I build it. For each page, I have this way of on the directory listings module, I have this new folder called routes. And here we have this structure for every page. Like for home, we have an API server, and then the view. And let's take a look at the API. The API is an export of a namespace that exports the loader and the action. And this home API is used here on the index, because the index is the home. But if we take a look at the Explore, we do the same thing, but with the Explore API. And then the Explore API, every route, I mean, has its own API. And in the case of the home, we have this homepage DTO. Let me show you: theme, title, description, image, SEO. As you can see here, this needs to map to my properties right here on the app portal configuration. Let's take a look at the home. On home, we have theme, title, description, image, and the SEO properties. So going back, this is the homepage TTO that on every homepage we need to have, regardless on what theme are you using. So let's take a look at the loader data. On the loader data, we have meta tags, the portal, the categories and listings, and then the page DTO. And I'm gonna move this below the portal. So these three items should basically be returned on every page. Like on Explore, let's take a look at the interface. We have meta tags, portal, and then the page. And then going to the category, let's take a look here. We have the page, but we don't have a DTO for the category page. So let's do that. Category, page DTO, and then export that in case we need it somewhere else. I'm not sure if we need it somewhere else, but just in case. So let's do the same thing for categories. Let's see, we already have a DTO for that. Let's put it below portal. And let's check on the category that I did the same thing. The page goes below portal. And then the listing. Let's take a look at the API server. We have a page below the portal. Okay, so this is the way that I did it for exporting the loaders and the actions. In this case, we don't have an action. But now let's take a look at the view. The view is basically a switch of the theme that is selecting on this specific route. As you can see, we're using the namespace home API and then taking the loader data and then using that data to pass it on every theme. In this case, I mean, on this function, on this component, we're using this theme that comes from page theme. And well, I can remove this because the end users shouldn't actually be able to put the theme here. But this is for development purposes. And then the theme one is the default, and of course the theme one. And if we go to theme one, we have a portal header, and then this div. And in theme two, let's go to theme two, we have this hero section. So let's change this black background to red, just so you can see that I'm overriding the theme of the home number two. Yeah, just like that. So the whole idea of themes is that every specific implementation of a theme should use the same data of the corresponding route, in this case home. But the same goes for every other routes. Like for a listing, we should have this listing API loader data, and we should render here whatever listing. Like, well, I don't have any I don't have the route for SaasRock, for listings. Oh, I do. So let's implement this listing theme, just like as a quick exercise. So we have this portal header that goes on every page. Let's save this. So then we should have a section to render listing title, listing name, and this is the H1. And let's actually give it some size and font black, well, maybe not that bold, but okay. So let's add some padding, class name, and I'm actually gonna use the padding that I use for the header. Well, not everything, like it's not centered, it's not flex, it's not height, but this max width, 7XL, and the padding, which is PX4, and for larger screens, more padding. So let's save this. Maybe let's take a look at the header because it's putting the logo. It's adding less padding. I'm not sure why. Max width of maybe of 5. Let's actually debug this like this. Yeah, it was of 5. No. Okay, so on the header, oh, it's because it's centered. So maybe we should have MX Auto because it's within a div. So yeah, so this is aligned. Okay, so but this should be way bigger. Well, maybe not that big, but let's put the description. And then going to the listing, we can edit the description and put the remix-saas boilerplate. Okay, so we need padding as well, and maybe not that big. 3XL, let's try it. And well, you get the point. You can see how I can render all the custom properties, like going through the listing utils, get properties. Well, this is another thing. If you remember, on the listing utils, we have this get properties function that I just implemented before recording, where I merge the category properties and the listing properties, and maybe the listing properties, the portal properties. Maybe the portal properties should be before the category properties. So since these are two separate projects, you need to be careful if you're not using git pull and you want to commit. You need to make sure that you add the same function on the same file if you're going to use it on the end product, in this case on the directory portal. So I'm going to import this because I want to iterate the listing properties just so I can show you how you can use these helper functions. So for the portal, we have it already on the data portal, and then the category, it can be null or undefined, is on the listing category. And okay, so we now have this, which can be mapped into a div array, I mean, and this it will be property, and the category, what error it's saying. Let's see the okay, so on the listing DTO, we actually need the category custom properties as well, but I don't want to have the whole object on all the category, and we actually have the categories. No, we don't. On the data, I was going to say here on the portal doesn't contain the categories. So I think I have two options. I can put it here instead of putting on every listing, which would increase the size of every listing whenever I call get listings, or put it like here, category DTO. Yeah, I think we need another object that we can use. We're gonna get all the categories and pass it on the loader data. And then I can use this object here, const category, and then find on the categories, find that specific category ID in case there's a category ID, of course. Okay, so I think it's much better like that instead of having the object on the listing. And now for every property, we're gonna render, and actually there's a function called JSON value, no, JSON. Well, I think I have it on this project. Let's see, JSON value cell. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be called cell. Let's see if we have this here. Yeah, JSON value cell. And what does it need? It needs a property and a value. Okay. It's not properties, it's attributes. And let's keep this padding of flex gap 2, and then flex grab in case there are tons of properties, and grab this inside ABG secondary with some padding at the side and at the top, and then a border and a rounded MD. So let's see how it looks. We have SaasRock, the title, and then we have that is it has this framework and these UI libraries because it's on React. So maybe we should have like a main section for the category. If data listing category, then we're gonna render the category name, just so I know the category. And here we may need a property title, just so we know what are we rendering. This is of course not required. I just want to make sure that I'm rendering correctly. Now, finally, to end this video, I'm gonna put an image, and this is from the image, but this is only rendered if the data listing image is set. Otherwise, we won't. Now, and I'm actually gonna end the video because my Mac is starting to heat like a lot. But I may buy an M4 or an M3, I mean, and a 16-inch MacBook Pro in the following days. So that will improve a lot on my experience recording. I'm gonna use SaasRock cover or a thumbnail. Yeah, let's use this cover and refresh here. Okay, so we have the image, the title, the category, the custom attributes. This is the global listings attributes, and this is React specific. So yeah, there you have it. This is the progress, and of course, there are tons of things that I added that I didn't include on this video, but I'm gonna be touching those on the future videos. So let me know if you're liking this series. I know I didn't cover every file change, but do you really want me to go through each page improvements? Like in this case, I just removed the hard-coded strings and put it on translation files. I mean, it's not actually useful that I do for every feature that I add a video. But let me show you that I implemented these custom CTAs. So for SaasRock, we should have this URL, and the title is buy now. And let's actually redirect to pricing. And this is type URL or button because let's take a look at SaasRock. On Ahrefs, it gives a score of domain rating of 34. So if a good domain links to this with SEO guidelines like do follow, my domain rating should improve over time. But that may be a premium feature, or you may not want to be associated with those kind of URLs like spammy URLs or websites. So, but on this case, I'm gonna put it on URL. It's gonna target blank, and it's gonna have rel of do follow, and the variant will be you can see the preview below here, and I can put an icon actually, and the icon can be an SVG. Let's see. Well, I'm actually gonna use SVG repo. Let's search for buy. Let's see. Well, maybe not this one. Let me put it here to clean it and copy and put it here. And it's actually rendering correctly. So let me see if this works. Current color, stroke, no, fill. So let me see if the color is set somewhere here. Fill none, and instead of, okay, so I'm gonna open this VS Code. So for this fill, I'm gonna use current color, just to see if I can get these lines in white. Okay, but I broke it. So like it was, just like that. Or maybe use another SVG that doesn't have this complexity. Let's put sale. I guess this is not too bad. So I can copy it, paste it here, buy now. And well, maybe there may be a few more padding, but on the secondary button, yeah, I don't like that icon. I'm sorry, I'm taking too long, but I'm a perfectionist. Let's add discount. Yeah, I don't think I will find the perfect icon. But anyway, let's accept it and save it. Now I'm gonna make sure that it's saved because this is implemented yesterday. Okay, so let's render that on the listing theme number 1, somewhere here. Data CTA listing, CTA listing, CTAs map, and then a fragment because we don't know if it's a link or a button. Then the key, CTA, well, I'm gonna use an index. It's not recommended, but I don't want to spend time on this. CTA, if the type is link or URL, I'm gonna use a link, or actually in like this. Let's see, the target, rel, and then the class name depends on the variant of the CTA. If the variant, well, actually I can use a button from ShotCN. The variant, I could put it there. and I can put this as child. I think this is correct. And the primary, secondary, tertiary, let's see, primary, default. Well, I guess I need to do this if the should I do this like this? I think this should only be buttons. Like instead of doing it my own way, do it like this. If the variant is primary, put button primary. I think this is how I intended it to be. And let's see. Let's construct the href. So if the CTA is type button, we won't have anything on the href. And then we're going to use that. And here on the button primary, we will have the CTA title. And we will add target, CTA target, and then rel, CTA rel, target. But I'm gonna add this as any. Well, I'm gonna see if it contains a rel. Let me see. I can put this here. Rel, if rel in CTA, otherwise undefined. As any, and then I need to import fragment from React, or do it like this, React fragment. Oops, this doesn't work. So let me import it, but I don't like that it's like this from React. Okay, so rel does not exist on button primary, so we need to fix that. Rel, where I'm using target, I'm gonna use rel target rel. Let's see, target rel. That's it. Save it. But what is this? Doesn't exist in props, but it's okay. It's rel, not ref. Okay, copy paste this, but for secondary and tertiary. Button secondary, because I already have the styles for this, and maybe for future teams there could be more variants, but these are the default ones, and we don't have rel on any of these, so let's add it as well. Rel and on button tertiary. And I think that's it. Let's see if it works. Okay, so we have the buy now, but it's not actually rendering the icon. So we need to use the same button that we are using on the preview. And I actually wasted time implementing it here. Well, not really. Let's see. We have the CTAs table, and we have this listing CTA preview. Where we have these class names. Yeah, I kind of wasted a little bit of time there. So instead of creating the component, I'm just gonna copy paste it. And I don't think we have this. Yeah, we do. We have this component. And we don't have this translation. And we just need the CTA. For the theme color, yeah, we need to pass the portal as well. And we don't need an on-click. And this is portal DTO. And this is listing CTA, DTO. Use translation, and then it's not item, it's CTA. Yes, so let's call it item instead of CTA. And listing CTA preview, it's not, it's CTA button. And for the portal, we should have theme color like this. And on click. So const if the item is of type button, it will be undefined, that click. Otherwise, it's this function. And we will do this open on this URL with this target. And just like that, I think that's correct. And the rel, I'm gonna put it as any, which is not recommended, but I don't want to waste time there. So we can now remove this and list the item, which is the current CTA, and then the portal, which we have on the data, and then what else? The class name. We don't need a class name. And then put here the index, and actually remove this and wrap it just like this. And all the buttons will be in a flex with some spacing, flex, gap 2, and then flex wrap in case there are tons of CTAs. Finally, let's try it. We have now the same button, and if we change it to something like primary, it should look better. Oops, it's not changing it. Let's see. Yeah, it's not actually saving it. So let me see if it's something related to the CTA. I changed it to primary, I accept, and I save. I refresh, and okay, so it may be something related to my computer slowing down. So there you have it. We have the buy now button. If I click on it, it doesn't work. So why is that? Oh, we should have to the actual URL. I commented that because if I click here, it shouldn't redirect to the actual URL. This should only happen here. Okay, so it works. Let me know if you like this format of making videos, and if you would like me to implement all the themes, because look at this. I have all these themes to be implemented for categories, category, explore, listing, and yeah, the one that I was working on, which is on a listing theme number 1. But if I go to theme number 3 or 2, should be lowercase. Oops, it's renaming it. That's weird. Theme 2. I don't have a theme for the listing on theme 2, 3, or 4. Just on 1. And I'm actually thinking on open sourcing this SaasRock directory portal. So it's a win-win. I give the users a quick boilerplate to list, to create a directory listing not builder, but a directory website, but without, of course, the features of managing it from the SaasRock project, which is called Deercraft. But like give like instead of having this listing DB server where you get the listings from Prisma, maybe return like here the custom listings that the user want to return, like this. So the user will actually be able to create a directory website, but without the Deercraft solution, and they could subscribe there if they want. And the way I win is that they could make pull requests, adding new things for each page. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you liked it, and I may spend more hours on this tomorrow, but I really want your feedback on what do you think of the current state of the project. Thank you for watching.